Hi, I'm Shayla Gamble, and I'm in the Digital Cinema Photography course. Welcome to my art history interview video. I had the privilege to interview my former digital cinema photography instructor, Ms. Jamie Myers, with an email interview. And here's what she had to say. Enjoy the video. The first question I asked Ms. Myers was, what do you see as the role of visual arts in society today, particularly in your profession? Ms. Myers answers, the visual arts are very apparent in our world today. I currently teach the overview of visual arts class at Full Sail. In my class, I cover creative writing, filmmaking, digital cinema photography, and media communications. I also work in the art department for film and other video media. Everything I work on becomes visual for both the assets I create for my students or the industry projects I work on. I believe that the visual arts is where everything in this world is headed. There is so much in our everyday lives that are visual and requires individuals to create objects, electronics, and content for it. From cell phones to electronic billboards to registries to Google Glass, there is nothing that is currently visual or becoming visual. The second question I asked Ms. Jamie Myers was, who is one of your favorite visual artists and or what is your favorite style of visual art? Ms. Myers answers, currently I do not have a favorite artist, but I definitely can see things that I like. I was recently watching the TV show Sherlock and got excited about the camera work and storytelling they used for the show. The camera framing, depth of field, colors, and transitions are beautiful and help tell the story. I cannot do that myself to save my life, but I know what is good and respect someone who goes to the extent to make that interesting instead of just pointing a camera at something and letting it go. The TV show Breaking Bad did the same thing. They used the camera to help tell the story. My third question to Ms. Myers was, new communications and media technologies make imaginary almost instantly available. Do you believe that this is having a positive or negative influence on your field or industry? Ms. Myers answers, it definitely has a positive influence on my industry. Working in the visual arts industry, it gives us all jobs. Working as a teacher, it gives me more ways to teach my students a vast area content. They can learn more by researching and finding videos for answers than they can spending time in libraries and trying to find information. They now just have to type anything in and the information comes at them rather than the other way around. The fourth question I asked Ms. Myers was, what popular images do you see that are frequently repeated throughout the industry? Ms. Myers answers, there are a lot of imaginary films. People understand how you are supposed to feel about something you see from pictures you have seen in the past. For instance, the Haroni or Demiso is always seen with light on their eyes or lit more than the people around them. That was learned from famous artwork. The fact that the bad guy has bags under his eyes and is usually in the dark is another example of imaginary used today. That was learned by famous paintings. I could go on for days, but most of everything we do with a camera now was learned from famous painters in the past. The last question I asked Ms. Jamie Myers was, how has your knowledge of famous artworks influenced your creative process? Ms. Myers answers, I use inspiration from art all the time. I recently created a cardboard set for a music video and used ideas from Michel Gondry's work. He is a filmmaker that thinks outside of the box and used them in his films, literally. I also had to create puppets for a project as well. I got inspiration from the great puppeteer of all time, Jim Henson. Looking at what he did helped me to figure out what I needed to do and what already works. For all the artwork I have done, I researched the way others have done it and use that as a starting point. I always make it my own, but why take the time and energy to create from scratch when something that already works exists?